What's your name?
Kathleen.
Are you in STEM?
Yes, I'm in STEM.
What do you do for a living?
I am a researcher, an aspiring artist, I would say, and a part-time content creator and part-time event planner.
Amazing. What does safety mean to you in the lab, classroom, and the workplace?
Safety in the lab means more than PPE. It means being able to ask questions in a safe environment and not being afraid to ask questions, especially when you're in a new lab setting, new lab members, new PI. I think it's really easy for people to be hesitant to ask for help. And so safety in a lab setting for me would be having a safe environment to be able to ask questions, like no matter how stupid they are.
Yeah, that's a great response. What does accountability in STEM spaces mean to you?
Accountability in STEM spaces, again in the lab for me, would be owning up to mistakes, mini mistakes, and not being afraid to take fault for something, which goes back to the safety in the lab, because it's all tied together. I would say, like, if you don't feel safe, then if you did something that affects somebody else, and you don't take accountability, then it can just snowball into a lot of issues.
Yeah, that's a really good point. What barriers prevent people from speaking up against gender-based violence in STEM spaces?
I feel like institutions don't really have like an HR department, at least not that I'm aware of. Usually it's just a bunch of PIs and they're all friends or something, and when there's a student that has some sort of issue, then it kind of just comes out as like a root, like as gossip almost, I would say. At least that's how I like have seen things, and for that student I feel like it's hard to talk about things because like all of the PIs are like buddies or something, and there's no like neutral third party that can help. Like even program managers are like not really a qualified person to bring things up.
That's a really good point. The managers are not in the role that has the capability to really take an issue up further. That's a good point.
Since they're like the only person that's around, then they kind of get labeled as the person to go to, but they're not. I feel like that's not something.
It's not in
that
their job
should
description.
Be. And there could be a lot of bias.
So what concrete changes would you make that would make a difference?
Concrete changes that I would make in the workplace in a STEM environment would be to have someone to like check in on every student. This is pretty common in like the corporate world or industry. I feel like a quarter check-in about like between you and your boss, I would say, but that doesn't really exist in academia. Like you kind of just assume that it's only like, okay, how's your project doing, and like are you gonna graduate on time, but there's no like, how are you doing? Like is there anything happening in your personal life that could be affecting the way that you are doing things in the lab? So I would definitely bring in again like an authorized person to have that role, and kind of like a counselor, like those counselors in high school. Like I would love to have that as like a master's or PhD. Like we would still need those people to like check in on us and make sure that workplaces are being safe, and that everyone's treating each other like in a good way.
So what are some of the hardest conversations that institutions are shying away from when it comes to gender-based violence?
I would say when it comes to gender-based violence, institutions are shying away from talking about cases where they're protecting people who have like a higher power, maybe because they bring in a lot of funding for the institution. So maybe they did something shady, but because of the fact that they're so good at their job, or like they're, they have a lot of power in their role, then the institutions can just like turn a blind eye and just not discuss about, shady things that they've done, because of the fact that they bring in so much money.
What does a future without gender-based violence look like?
I don't even know. I don't think I can answer this one. I don't even know. Yeah.
Hard to imagine, huh?
Yeah, it's hard to imagine.
Okay, that's all the questions we have. Thank you so much, Kathleen. How can we get in contact with you?
Thanks. You can follow me on Clueless Lab Girlies on Instagram.
I love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.